Is everyone good, all comfy? Everyone all good? Yeah. It's not very bright.
Oh, wait. Here it goes.
Is that good? Alright, there we go. Is it good? Alright. It was a dark light, okay. I didn't prepare with this flashlight, so let's see if that works. Okay. It was a dark and stormy night. Wait. My pen. I'm sorry, where was my pen? Okay, here we go. Restart that.
Wait.
Okay.
It's whenever you turn it.
It's whenever I turn it off.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, whatever, just keep it right there.
Okay.
Okay. It was a dark and stormy night at MHS. In the air, hail could be seen falling from the dark abyss. The students of Miss Teller's second period dual credit class sits around a creepy kid telling a story. On the ceiling, you can hear hail hitting, and all of a sudden, everything goes quiet. Marco begins his presentation. Everyone, this is how to tell a scary story properly. Switch it on. All right. In the past, scary stories haven't always been used to be to effectively and accurately. Okay, sorry. In the past, scary stories used to be effective and actually scary. But now, unless the topics and points I mentioned are applied, the stories will become cheesy and cliche. This is regular, guys. You've seen it all before. I asked in my audience poll, in my audience questionnaire, who actually has been scared by a scary story? And 60% of y'all said you've never been scared by one. And this is the reason why. Go ahead. All right. So the art of good storytelling will be lost unless we perfect these topics of scary storytelling. Again, what I'm about to show you is why scary stories aren't actually scary anymore. So these are the topics I'll be talking about. The environment in which the story's been told. That's us sitting right here in a campfire style circle. The setting. This is actually the plot of the scary story. And then lastly is timing and delivery. So these are our topics we're going to be talking about today. Alright, so our first one, environment. This is again what we are right now. We can either be in 3 modes, okay? We can be in campfire mode. We could be in slumber party mode with these young ladies. Or we can be both flashlight and campfire if you wanted to add some, extra effect. Alright, so you have essentially when you're telling a story 3 huge needs. Alright, 3 needs are, you need to be in a dark area, you can't be in a light area. This is important because if you're in a lighted area, no one's going to be scared. Okay? Second, you need to have groups with backs to open air. And that's just the added creepiness effect. When a story's getting really scary and you turn your back, it's like, oh my god, is there like a monster behind me? And you always turn your back and there's never a monster. That's just how it is. And lastly, this is important, you need to be quiet. You need to add suspense to the story. And this is important because the more suspense you add to the story, the better it's going to be. Again, 60% of y'all weren't scared by scary stories ever. And that's because most of the time, only 2/3 of these needs are met. That means one of these crucial elements is never applied and the story is never scary. So, yeah. Alright, though the environment in which the story is told is important, the situation the story involved is even more substantial. So, this is the setting. The setting. And again, this is your stereotypical scary story setting. You're driving back through some back roads after a party and your car breaks down. Okay, that's pretty much always how it's been. And you get lost and there's a werewolf or some crap. But basically, that's how a scary story is. It's always like that. You want to switch? Alright, so when telling a scary story, you need to address most of the W's. Not all of them. You don't need to address the what because you can't exactly explain supernatural. But you can explain where, who, when, and why. The more realistic, the better. The less realistic, the less better, and the least realistic, the less betterest, okay? That's pretty simple. Again, when I asked y'all, what made a scary story actually scary? 33% of y'all said the reality of the story. Exactly 33. You all said what makes a story scary is how believable it is. Or, go ahead and switch. How credible it is. Okay, and credibility is probably the biggest key to telling a scary story. How many of you have been telling a scary story and it's like, I heard one a few months ago, It was an astronaut story. How many of y'all have been an astronaut in y'all's life? Oh wow, less than I thought. Okay, anyways, so credibility of the story adds the frightening element to the story, okay? You're not going to be an astronaut, but you could be some kid maybe at home while your parents are away at some party, maybe at night, maybe lots of rain. And the settings that depict the real-life situations often reflect suspense in the story. The more foreign the area is, the better it's going to be, you know? Most of y'all aren't going to be or in North Korea in your lifetime, I'm assuming. So North Korea is not a good place to choose your setting. But Nashville, Texas, on a dark night, maybe near where Lauren lives, pretty creepy at night. All right, go and switch. So no good story can be told without the right storytelling techniques. So this brings us to timing and delivery. Right here we have a creepy clock. It's creepy. Go and switch. All right, timing. This is one of the most crucial things you can do for storytelling, okay? It's all about waiting for just the right moment, okay? Because quiet moments are key, okay? You don't want to tell a story, you don't want to have a scary part of the story happen when there's a bunch of action going on. You want it to build up. How many of you have seen a movie where the guy's walking down this hallway, it's very quiet, and you think something's about to happen, but it doesn't? Then 1 second later, the delay occurs, then something scary happens? That's where true suspense lies, and the crowd's waiting for something to happen. Which again brings me to the topic of delivery. Delivery is also one of the most important storytelling techniques. Voices make the stories scary. And sound effects of the hail, completed. Okay, these are really important, okay? And this is pretty much the conclusion of the gist, okay? The storytelling has long been the way to share events and ideas. Passion for them should never be lost, and the art should never be dead. You know, for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of years, storytelling has been the way that our culture has told other people of other things, you know, other different things. You know, back when the Aztecs used to be around, they didn't text each other scary stories. They didn't email them. They told them via mouth. And that's really important because this art of storytelling is being lost. So that's essentially the gist I wanted to get out to y'all. How to tell a scary story and how to effectively deliver. So today, I talked about the environment in which a scary story is told. I told you about the settings or the parameters of a scary story. And I told you about techniques, all used to effectively tell a scary story. So I hope you all enjoyed it. There you go.